Right. Welcome, Dream Achievers. It's fun to see so many of you here tonight. It is the last week of the quarter, the last week of the month, and I know many of you are gunning for things, so I'm glad you decided to join us again. I'm Sherry Fredericks, and I live in Foxville, Minnesota, and it's so fun to see so many of you here. As always, we are going to start out with victories. So who would like to share a victory? We prefer business related, and just shout it out, big or small. Who wants to?
I have not done events in the spring, and I have one event a month through June.
Wow, Barb, that's fantastic.
It's a start.
Good for you. So is your first one in April?
I have a fundraiser, part online, part face-to-face in April.
A what?
It's a fundraiser, but they're doing part of it face-to-face
Oh,
as an event, and then the other part of it is online.
perfect. You'll hit lots of people. Okay, well, good for you. Events are fun. Who else? Oh my gosh, don't be shy.
I have over 2,000 in sales.
Yay, Sheila. And it's not even the end of the month yet. Awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Shelly. Congratulations, Sheila.
My team has everything they need to re-promote us to gold.
Yes.
Yay!
I need a little bit. I need a little bit in personal sales, but I'll get it.
You'll get it. I mean, you have what, 5 days? 1, 2, 3. You have 4.5 days.
Yeah, for $250, I think I'll get there.
Piece of cake. Piece of cake. That's awesome. Okay, time for one more victory, big or small. Anyone? Oh, Sandy.
I just make sure my dog's not going to bark real quick. I have my first 2-day event this coming weekend.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. 2 days even, not 1, but 2 days.
Go for it.
Wear comfortable shoes. Yeah, that's fantastic. You know what I do, because I'm so much older than any of you here. Well, probably not so much older, but I've been doing this for a long time. Is, you know, in my kit, when I do events, I have like my little checkout stand. I bring my kitchen mat. Do any of you have one of those kitchen mats, like in front of your sink? You know, it's nice and thick. I totally bring that for my checkout area. And it's a game changer. So just a tip, it fits in there real flat to my car. So anyway, okay, well, thank you for the victories. It's always fun to hear what everybody's doing out in the field. Let's move to announcements, and then Andrea Loomer is going to do our product knowledge here in a minute. So raise your hand if you did the beer bread challenge. Did you get those 25 beer breads sold? Fantastic. I know many of you were working on it, and even if you didn't get the whole thing, hey, you sold more than maybe what you would have sold. So that's fantastic. Dips to dinner. Our Dips to Dinner challenge, our team challenge, goes till the end of the month, which is Friday, 11:59. Make sure hashtag Dips to Dinner. Have you guys been having fun with this? Yeah, remember, you make either the dip or the dinner, and then hashtag Dips to Dinner. I know we've had fun with it. So keep doing that, and there'll be a lucky winner Monday morning. We will pick that. Probably do it live. All right, Party Palooza. What is Party Palooza? It's our national conference. It's at the Marriott at the Mall of America in Minnesota this year. Every other year it's somewhere else. And registration opens April 5th. You can probably register for a while, but if you plan on going, why not get that registration in? And then just to remind you, for those of you that promote to copper or above, and the recognition period, which will be July 1st of last year until June 30th of this year, when you promote and remain at that level or higher, you'll get Party Palooza for free. So like Shelly, I think she gets Party Palooza for free. I think Sheila gets Party Palooza for free. So first time recognition. So there's still a whole entire, April, May, June is a new quarter. You could get Party Palooza for free, Sandy, and the rest of you here on this call. So how fun is that? Okay, and we'll talk more about Party Palooza as it gets closer, but it's definitely the place to be. So hopefully we'll see all of you there. Are you tracking for the incentive trip? Raise your hand if you're tracking for the incentive trip. So the incentive trip is, I see, I'll let somebody in. We're heading to Orlando. Actually, the one that's coming up, some of us are going to Cabo in 3 weeks, which is, raise your hand if you're going to Cabo. So these are the people that are tracking or that earned the trip last time. So if you want to reach out to one of them, they'd be the ones to reach out to. Anyway, on your dashboard, you can click on incentive, I think it says, and you can see how many points you need to earn the trip. You need a minimum of 15,000 in personal sales. Then you earn sales on your promotion to Copper and team promotions to Copper and your sponsoring. So you know what? It always surprises me that some people don't track, and then June 1st, they're like, oh, I'm kind of close. Maybe kick it in gear in April and May. But anyway, I invite you to check your points and see where you're at, because we have so much fun together and the resort is very nice. So we'd love to have you there. Okay. Any other announcements I might be missing that I should be talking about? Nothing? All right, well then we are going to move to the fair and lovely Andrea Loomer, and Andrea is going to do the product knowledge segment. And what I ask is some person to share a product and share with us all why we need it. So Andrea, what are you talking about?
I picked, I picked this one because it is one of my favorites so far, and I've made it a couple different ways. And so I figured, it's best when you already have a favorite and can it. So I picked the garden salsa cheese ball. Sorry, my bad, but I have made it a couple different ways. And the first time I made it, it was kind of trying to rectify a fail. I was actually going to make the garlic parmesan wing sauce snack mix. And for some reason, my the cereal, my snack part of the ingredient got just a little too soggy. So then they crisped up and got a little way too crunchy, and I was going to sample them at an event. So I thought, I'm not going to do that. So I took a look around in my inventory and I'm like, what can I do? What can I do? I still had enough for snack mix. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to make garden salsa seasoning snack mix. And so I just mixed it with butter, 1 packet of butter, and then I tossed it on the basically like the Chex Mix Crispix cereal crackers, and then and pretzels, and I baked that in the oven for 30 minutes at 250 on a sheet pan. And of course I started up a couple times, and that was a huge hit as far as sampling really well. So that was a win, and that was a happy accident. And then I just used the other packet that came in the box. The other night I made, I think it was like 33 degrees outside. So we decided to bust out the grill. So I made, using our little hamburger pat here, I made stuffed burgers with the garden salsa on the inside with a little bit of cheddar cheese. And then I formed the patties and I threw them on the grill. And that was also excellent. So got a little juicy Lucy, if you will. And then I think it would be excellent as a sauce for, to toss with noodles and grilled chicken, just mixing it with cream cheese and milk. And then of course, your sandwiches, bagels, and then make it as the dip with mayo and sour cream. But that is how I've used it. It makes an excellent little Chex Mix and perfect for sampling at events. Throw them in those 2-ounce souffle cups with a little lid in your.
That's a great idea, Andrea. Thank you for sharing. Sounds really good. Any questions for Andrea on the garden salsa cheese ball mix? What recipe would you have used for that? If they want to, was it the garlic parmesan? Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I'll post the recipe. It was basically just mixing it with butter, the
Yeah.
mix, tossed it. So I'll put the measurements in the meeting note.
You can put it in the meeting note, or you can put it on the Dream Achievers team page too, or whatever you want to do.
Sure. We'll do.
Whatever's easier. Well, thank you, Andrea. Way to have fun with that product, the garden salsa cheese ball mix. It is a great product, and thank you for bringing it to life.
Mhm.
All right. Well, you guys, we are going to move to our topic. And it's called 10 Tips to a Successful, Tastefully Simple Business. So you guys know Janine Black and Faye Annie. They are fellow diamond leaders, and they asked me to speak at one of their last meeting. And she's like, well, give tips or something. So I typed up some tips and I thought, well, why am I not sharing this with my team? Right? So here we go. I am going to share with you 10 tips to a successful, tastefully simple business. And here we go. And if you have questions, which you may, I ask that you wait till the end. Sound good? All right. So tip number 1, know your why. And your why could change. When I first started Tastefully Simple, I had 3 little girls, 6, 4, and 2. Isabel wasn't even born yet. And my why was to buy a piano. I am not talking a new piano. That was not even something we would have considered. A used piano, because I wanted them to take piano lessons, because I did when I was growing up. And so I did that. So that was my why in the very beginning, just to make a little extra money. Of course, it's changed through the years. But I knew it was a venue. What is the word I'm trying to look for? Anyway, I knew it was a way I could make some really good money, because I knew other people that were in other direct selling companies that did very well. And I thought that's going to be me. So, but your why, whatever your why is, you all have a different why. And when you have a strong why, it'll push you through those days, or maybe those weeks when you don't feel like doing anything, because we're all busy. And if we don't have a strong why, then you're not gonna, push through what you need to do to make it happen. So number 2 is set goals. I know this, this business isn't rocket science. So for example, here's what I hear some people say. Yep, I'm gonna see what happens. I'd like to make some extra money, and it's kind of fun, and I like to see what happens. Well, that is awesome. But that's not really a specific goal, is it? Here would be a better goal. And I always go by parties rather than say I'm going to sell $3,000, which of course is always my goal. But I would say I will book 4 parties a month and then add no matter what. I will book 4. And when I say parties, you guys, in today's Tastefully Simple world, when I started, it's going to be 25 years, you guys. That's crazy. When I started 25 years ago, it was only in-home tasting parties and events. But, we knew that making it happen was at parties. So in today's world, when I say parties, it can be an online party. It can be an in-person party. It can be a freezer meal workshop. But out of simplicity, I'm just going to say parties. But just so you know, there's no right or wrong. At the end of the day, it's what makes you excited and what you like, right? So I will do 4 parties a month. And then you need to add no matter what. Because when you're consistent, and actually I don't have that as one of my top 10, but that's going to go in with that setting goals in the next one. Consistency is really the key. Like if you were a waitress, did any of you guys ever waitress in your life? Like in high school or college, or maybe now? If you showed up at Applebee's, I'm just going to say that because everybody knows Applebee's, once a month, how effective do you think you'd be? Not so much, because you'd forget and you wouldn't feel confident, and you just wouldn't know the ropes. So if you do a minimum of 4 a month, you're going to build that confidence, you're going to get better at it, and you're just going to be in front of more people. So set goals no matter what. Number 3, and this all makes sense, is create a plan. How will you accomplish that goal? You're going to have, first you got to set the goal and then how you're going to accomplish it. You're going to want to, let's go to see if I have this on there. How will you accomplish it? You want to make sure you set time. No, this is right. Say that. You want to set time to work your business. Now, I bet almost every single person here on this beautiful screen of mine has something else that they do, right? Tastefully Simple. For me, it's full time, but I would say most of you are doing this on the side. I know Lisa Burns does this full time. She didn't start out that way. I think Barb does this full time or whatever you want to, I don't know if you consider it full time, Barb, but anyway, you're doing something else. So you all have a calendar, right? And you have to go to that 9-to-5 job or whatever, and you're busy. And you don't have to write that down because you have to show up. But when are you showing up for your Tastefully Simple business? Days can go by and weeks can go by and even months can go by. And it's like, oh my gosh, everything I wanted to do, it didn't happen. So treat your business like a business, but it doesn't have to be full-time. It doesn't have to be part-time, you guys. It can be part-time, but maybe you're going to write on your calendar. I would advise you to write in your calendar, Sunday night, when I look at my week, I could work my Tastefully Simple business either during the lunch hour before I go to work, or Tuesday night from 7 to 9 or whatever, Saturday morning from 8 to 11. You will be rewarded by working your business. Or maybe you're like, I don't have 3 hours, Sherry. How about a 15-minute nugget? What if you did 15 minutes? Think of the difference it would make. And that doesn't mean cleaning off your desk. You know what I'm saying? Like income producing activities. So create a plan. How will you work it? When will you work it? And knowing that you're going to have to ask a lot of people to get those income producing activities on the calendar. They're called IPAs. And that's okay. When I started 25 years ago, I think some of you have heard this story. I had lunch with two of my good friends from high school, and I had been a stay-at-home mom for 6 years, and I was, we were catching up with each other, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, I signed up for Tastefully Simple. And they're like, what? Well, Tastefully Simple. We sell food, and they're like Tupperware? Oh my gosh, Sherry. Wow. Okay. That was 25 years ago. They had like a little bit of a stigma against direct sales. So now, of course, they're jealous and they love and wish they had what I was doing. And that happened almost, not that far after that. But I share that with you guys to say it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to me, and it's okay. Not every person believes in your business. And that's okay, right? So don't let that stop you. Okay, number 4 is when you get negative or discouraged, change the channel, right? Maybe you've just had a bad day. Just go to bed, you'll wake up the next day. But if you find yourself in a funk, you're gonna have to change the channel. Reach out to your fellow consultants or your sponsor. And then you just have to pull yourself out of that. I mean, we all get in funks. I get in funks. I got a pretty good thing going on. But sometimes I get in a funk too. For me, what changes that? First of all, I love to work out. So I go play pickleball, and that really changes everything. But the other thing that will change it for you is, you've heard this before, go do a party. Go get in front of people, invite people over to your home, do an online party, get that energy, and you'll hear your clients say, I love this stuff. And you're like, oh, that's right. That's why I do this. So when you get discouraged, because you will, right? You're in your business for yourself, is reach out to others and have them help you get out of that. Number 5 is do not compare, right? Isn't that easy to do? Gosh, look at her. Oh, she's so lucky. Why does she get, how did she get 2 people last month on her team? I don't have anybody. Really just don't compare, you guys. I live 20 minutes from anywhere. Some of you have been out to my house, and as my cleaning lady would say, I heard her talking on her whatever when she was cleaning. And I heard her say, yeah, I'm out in the boonies. I'm sure the person said, where are you? And she's like, I'm out in the boonies. So I share that with you to say, You can do this business anywhere, you guys, especially now with online. You don't have to do in-person parties. You can do online anywhere. So remember that everyone eats, right? Oh, excuse me. I remember when I started Tastefully Simple and I was looking at a couple other options. And my dad, who's no longer with us, said, you know what, Sherry, that's not a bad idea. It's consumable. They're going to fall in love with, you know, your beer bread. They're going to want more. Sorry about that. So, okay, that was number 5. Number 6, this is an easy one, is have fun. And did you know, and be enthusiastic. Do you guys know the last 4 letters of what the word enthusiasm stands for? Doesn't anybody remember what Sue Rush used to say? Anybody remember the last? So the last 4 letters of enthusiasm are IASM. I am sold myself. So fun, energy, and enthusiasm. I am sold myself. And sometimes you got to remind yourself of that. But people are attracted to people that are energetic and enthusiastic and, you know, love their products. So don't forget that. Number 7, this is a good one too. And you guys are all doing it because you're here. It's called invest in yourself. And, you know, we need to continue to learn and to continue to pivot. If I was still doing what I did 25 years ago or 20 years ago or 15 or 10, I wouldn't be as successful as I am today because we have to continue to pivot, right? And we knew that loud and clear when COVID hit, but it's just true. Business doesn't stay the same. Your life doesn't stay the same. We have to continue to pivot. So invest in yourself, invest in your business, but also be curious. You know, I went to Gustavus Adolphus College, and when I was a senior, the Career Center encouraged us to reach out to people and do informational interviews with people that you maybe wanted to be a part of, like a company, Land O'Lakes, 3M, whatever, and it's called an informational interview. We don't have to name it. It doesn't have to be that technical, but just ask for 10 minutes of someone's time. I mean, look at Sheila. She's got $2,000 already this month. You know, reach out to her on Facebook or whatever. And hey, Sheila, do you just have 10 minutes? I mean, I like to talk to people because I feel like you can get a lot more out of that. But or if you see someone in the top 10, I know Lisa Burns has been in the top 10, you know, like, what the heck are you doing? And she shared that with us a month ago. But be curious, you guys. People love to talk about themselves. And those that are successful and Tastefully Simple are always happy to share. So be curious and don't be afraid to reach out and find out what that person is doing. Number 8, do a variety of IPAs. Do a variety of income producing activities. Now, some of you here might go, oh, Sherry, I can't do anything but online parties. That's fine. That's your jam. That's your jam. But I know from experience, I feel, again, this is my opinion, if you can do a variety of IPAs, then if one venue isn't working as great for you right now, it's okay. So like, I love to do events, but I wouldn't want to do them all the time. I love in-home parties, and you know that about me because I've shared that before, but I wouldn't want to do that all the time. I like online parties, but I'm an extrovert, so I kind of get bored with those, so I wouldn't want to do that all the time either. Freezer Mill workshops, fundraisers. I got to share with you, I just landed a fundraiser yesterday or Friday. I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw she's actually a past consultant, like in my 2nd or 3rd line, but it'd been a long time ago. Heather is the coach for the archery team, and they're going to nationals in April, the end of April. And I thought, I bet they need money. So I private messaged Heather because she's a friend, you know, a mutual friend of mine. And guess what? I'm going to give her 15 packets on Wednesday, and they're doing a fundraiser. So it's as easy as that, you guys, but you have to ask. I don't know if did anybody listen to Susie Lamar this morning or listen to the recording? 10 o'clock on Mondays, they do a 10 o'clock, I don't know, some kind of call on the independent consultant Facebook page. And if you haven't listened to it, it's really a good one this morning. She talks about, you know, it's your business and you asking rather than waiting for magic to happen. So it's really good if you want a chance to listen to that. Okay, we are moving on to number 9. Book close in if needed. What does that mean? That means you can book a party today for Thursday. I'm not kidding. So I also shared with some of you the story on how Brittany Vickery was going to come shadow my party. Brittany Vickery is our, I don't know, VP of marketing, or she's got some fun little title, but let's just call it that. And she was going to be in Alexandria March 9th. And I had to do it on March 9th because it was the only day. So I booked a party with someone in Alec. She canceled out on me on Saturday, and I had host coached her too. And she was a friend, and kind of a friend. I don't know. She called me Saturday morning. She's like, I can't do the party. And I won't bore you with the details, but I was like, okay. So I was like, crap, I got to do something. Cause I really, I thought, oh, whatever. She's not going to come see me do a party, whatever. And Brianna was going to shadow me, whatever. Anyway, I got over myself and I said, who else can I find? Anyway, I called my sister-in-law Monday at 11 a.m. She was in California. I think I shared this story last time. Anyway, long story short, she did the party and it was over $1,000. I called her Monday. It was Thursday. I did make the party food kit only because she lives an hour away, but I share that story with you guys to say it can happen. I mean, online parties, you can do that like in a couple days, right? But even in-home parties. And her goal, I told her, you got to get, I didn't say you got it, but I said, Barb, could you get 10 people at your party? She goes, I'll try. So, I set the goal, I set the expectation. So if you don't need a whole month. And the other tip that I find is Sue Rush had always shared with me, the 15th of the month, your next month should be booked. So we're past that. So you should all have your April booked. You guys all have it booked? Yeah, probably not. I know, I need to add more too. But here's the deal. I noticed if I call, or we don't call anymore. We private message, we text. You sure can call though. Do it this week because April seems a long ways away, even though it's not. But if you wait till the first week of April, like April 3rd or 4th, guess what? You're probably going to be booking the end of April. I don't know what it is, but people feel like they need that time, even though they don't. So if you want to book your April, I would recommend that you try to make it happen this week, if you can. It's just going to be easier. Okay, number 10. Oh, here is my schedule. Okay, number 10, I kind of already covered this, but schedule time to work your Tastefully Simple business. So like I said before, if you don't schedule it, 15 minutes, an hour, the days go by and the weeks go by and you find it doesn't happen. So I would schedule time to work your business, just like you have a dental appointment, you have a doctor appointment, you go to work on your 9 to 5, or you have lunch with a friend. Work that business. And if someone says, hey, let's go do whatever, and said, well, I can after I get whatever, you know what I'm saying. You'll be rewarded, I promise. So there are my 10 tips to a successful, tastefully simple business. Do we have any questions? Nothing?
They were
Not
good
rocket
tips.
science. What's that?
They were good tips.
Oh, thanks, Ange.
Mm.
Yeah. Thanks, Elaine. But any questions, really? No question's a dumb question. All right. Well, I had questions from Janine's team. But
What'd they
maybe-
ask you?
I don't remember.
Oh, darn it. I was gonna say, because it was probably a good
I'm not
question.
gonna feed you with questions.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. Maybe it's because theirs was a Tuesday night and ours is a Monday night. No, I'm just kidding. Well, you guys, if you do have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
All right. So my question is, my April is atrocious.
Okay.
What do I do? And I'm totally serious.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Mhm.
So what I would tell you, Ange, is, and I know you've reached out to some people, if not a lot. Let me ask you this. What do you want to do in April? Like online parties, in-person events? I don't know.
So I want to do six Facebook parties, and then I have one fundraiser, and then I have one more thing. Oh, I want to do a freezer meal workshop too.
Okay, so 6 Facebook parties. Do you already have the fundraiser done with?
No, it's just scheduled.
You want to do it, but you don't have it scheduled.
Yeah, they're like still on the fence.
Oh,
So
so
if
you
I
have the
can't get that one, I would get another one. Yeah.
Okay, you have the contact, and then one freezer meal workshop. Okay, well, I know you know how to do the freezer meal workshop. Sounds like you got the fundraiser. How many Facebook parties do you have so far?
0.
Oh, gosh.
It's
Well,
never happened.
That's never happened. Okay.
You asked for questions, guys. I threw our no softballs here.
And it's on there. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a valid question, and I'm sure there's others here that may be in the same situation. I do the old tick system and I keep track of, who I've reached out to. Angie, can I ask you this? If you've
Mhm.
reached out to somebody, maybe a
Mhm.
past host, how many times do you reach out to them? Like, do you reach out to them once and wait to hear from them?
Yeah, I do usually. I watch to see if they've read it,
Okay.
and then sometimes I'll come back and say, hey, just checking to see, but not always. I'm not great about that.
Okay, so here's my advice on that. I've always had the 3 strikes and you're out rule. I never would say that to them. And honestly, I have to use that with some team members that don't get back to me.
Mhm.
But here's the deal. We're texting people, we're private messaging, and like Angie said, you can see, when they've received it. But I don't know about you sometimes, and I try not to do this anymore, but you might look at something on the fly. Does that ever happen to you? Like,
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Oh, I see that's, oh, someone messaged me, Scarlett. And I go, oh, but then I don't message her back. And then I get a whole bunch of other ones and I forget to get back to Scarlett or whatever. So same things happen to me as it's going to happen to you, Angie. It's going to happen to the rest of them.
Mhm.
So 3 strikes and they're out. So maybe give them a couple days. And then like you kind of said, hey, I'm just looping back to see if you're interested in that fun tasting party that, I talked about. And then even a third time, you know what? I just wanted to make sure. And then, oh, that's right. I forgot to get back to you, Angie. So all of you guys, you've got to implement the 3 strikes and they're out rule. Now, if they don't get back to you on the third one, and you're not doing it within, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours, you're gonna give them a couple days. Then you just move them to the next month or the next quarter or whatever.
Yes.
But it's not in vain. I mean, you remember, whenever you reach out to someone, you're letting them know you're still in business. And when they do need you, I had a party last week. Her name is Brooke, not my daughter, but a host. And she's like, oh, I'm super busy. Okay, when should I talk to you? In a couple weeks. So I reached back to her. And then she finally gets back to me. She goes, can I start tomorrow? And it was when I was heading out of town for 3 days. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't tomorrow, but let's start the following week. So it's out there, you guys. You know what I'm saying? It's out there, but the 3 strikes and they're out. I would for sure do that. So does that help you out a little, Ange?
It does. It does. I've just never had this happen. So part of me is almost scared to really dig into it because I'm like, what if it doesn't happen? I'm just being totally real.
Well,
Yeah, but I will.
I appreciate your honesty. And I think we all have fear at sometimes. So you just got to push through. And it's never an easy feeling. And here's how I always look at that, Angie, is I go, okay, this is how I feel. It sucks. I'm just going to say that.
Mhm.
So now when a team member like Angie approaches me and says, like you're more relatable, and say, you know what, it happens to me. Here's what I did. I'll set the timer and do I'm going to do this for 15 minutes or a half hour. And then I keep track of how many yeses and nos and maybes or no, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I like to see that I've done something. So
Yeah.
that's what works for me. And then I just let it go. And some nights you'll have great luck. And some nights you're like, nobody likes me. No, don't say that. But sometimes you won't have any luck. So I have to set a timer and tally sheet too, Barb said. So
It's a good idea.
yeah. And Angie, you will push through this. I know you will.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you will. So
I was thinking of doing like 5 veggies a day, 5 a day. I'm like, I'm going to ask 5 people every day.
yeah.
But I think I need to do more than that, but yeah.
Well, for sure 5 a day. And
Mhm.
I mean, I'll sit down and contact 25 people at
Mhm.
one
Yeah,
time.
because it's not hard.
No, and you can, I hate to say it, you can copy and paste that message,
Mhm.
but I like to personalize it. Hey, Katie, it's Sherry with, and then just change the,
Mhm.
hey, Barb, hey, Sue. But keep it short and sweet, because as you know, Angie, and the rest of you, you can't have this really long
Yeah.
private message. You're not going to read it.
True.
So, but the 3 strikes you're out is going to be a game changer. And then you have to ask a lot of people. I've
Mhm.
also had team members say, nobody wants to do this.
Mhm.
And I'll say, okay, Katie, and I'm just picking on Katie. How many people have you asked? And there's a pause. 3.
Yeah.
And of course I can't laugh in their face. But I want to say, you know what, you got to ask 30 people perhaps, or, 50 people. And, once and who do you ask? Past hosts. Scroll on Facebook, who likes your posts. You can go into my HQ and see who's bought over $50. There's so many people you can ask, you guys. There really is. And with this dang thing, with your private message and texting, like you don't even have to talk to people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do like to talk like I do, I can tell you that talking, it's a lot easier to overcome objections because you can hear their voice, you can hear them. So I do still like to call some people, and then if someone doesn't pick up the phone, heck, sometimes I try to call my kids or my family members and they don't pick up the phone. I don't go, they hate me, I stink. I just go, they're busy. So if you do call somebody like a past host, then follow up with a text, because I've also had people say, oh, I didn't know that was you, so I didn't pick up the phone. We all do that, right? So if
Mhm.
you call somebody, which I think is fantastic, then if they don't answer, follow up with a text. So,
Good idea.
all right. Anything else? Anybody have any other ideas for Angie or anybody else? I'm going to stop the recording only because I like to keep it to like a half hour, but we can still stay on.